Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a Q&A. I do these a lot on Instagram, just like with the boxes, and I've done a lot here on YouTube in the community section, but like I just want to do a video to answer all your questions because I feel like a lot of them are similar, so hopefully we'll have one spot where they can just live. So if you guys are new to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, sweat the thumbs up, give it a little click, and we're gonna jump into these. I literally just looked at them like barely for the first time, and there's some good ones. So truly the first question that I saw that I just read, I'm like, we're just gonna get right into it. So pregnancy after 35 years has a lot of complications. Do you have any anxiety for waiting so long? Well, now I do, thank you. No, to be honest, like here's another common asked question, like, I don't know, I'm sure it's in here because I get asked all the time. So I'm 34, so 35 is like around the corner. I'm not worried about it. For me, the thing that stresses me out, if anything, is just like how to know when you're ready. I know you're never ready, but how you know when you're ready to not be ready, you know what I mean? To like take that jump into like trying to start a family. I never like to assume that it's just gonna happen. I have tons of friends who have struggled to get pregnant, who went through rounds and rounds of in vitro. Like, I don't know that that's my path, but I don't know that I can even get pregnant. No one does, you guys. Like, I spent most of my life being so stressed out about getting pregnant, like by sneezing basically. And as an adult, I realized like, well, one, there's only this tiny window if you understand your cycle, which I now do, that you can actually get pregnant. So that's like number one. And number two, we don't know. No one really knows like how their body's gonna do until you actually actively try. I feel like God is totally in control, and whatever he has for me will be perfect and exactly what it's meant to be, complications or not. So I feel really peaceful about that. But just the like, do we wanna like go down that path and like start that routine? Or not routine, but like start that like whatever? I don't know. So that stresses me out. Your favorite bikini? I have a giant basket of bikinis right here. I also have a whole drawer of bikinis. I have so many. I would say, just because this one's really fun and colorful, it's tiny, I know. But White Fox Swim is one of my absolute favorite swimwear brands. I also love a lot from like Beach Riot. I really love my friend Kaya. She has beautiful, like Kaya Swim, my friend Kylie has Kaya Swim. Beautiful swimsuits there too. But White Fox is probably one of the brands I wear the most. I just love the fit of their swimsuits. They have a lot of good like high-waisted, high-thigh ones. I also like that they have a thing called small plus. If you are like me and you have like a smaller around, like I'm like a 32 in a bra, right? So smaller here, but you have a larger chest, it actually fits you right. Cause you know, like in swimsuits, you're like, well, I'm not a small, but if it's like a clasp back, I'm not a medium, it's too big around here. So they have their ones that have the hooks that are a small plus. I love that about White Fox, so that is one of my favorites for sure. You are more interested in endurance cardio than muscle building, true or false? False. I am very equally interested in both. Endurance and cardio are obviously really, really important for your overall health and well-being, and like that is important to me, but muscle building is too. I'm not in here trying to like put on 10 pounds of muscle by any means, but I use heavy weights. If you guys do my Love Sweat Fitness app programs, I always encourage you to be adding weights into those workouts or your resistance bands. Like for me, that is really important, and getting enough protein is definitely key in that too. What beauty treatments do you get? You always look 100%. How is your hair doing? Thank you. That's so nice. Wow, what a compliment. So I take my skincare real seriously. You guys have seen some of my skincare routine videos for like glowy skin. Because I have dry skin with my hypothyroidism, I always want to make sure that like skincare is top of mind. So I do like full routines. I do at home dermaplaning. I do like the suction little guy to get rid of like all the dead skin. I do lots of oils, and then I do a little bit of Botox. So that started like maybe a year or so ago, 2 years, I don't know. Just like a little bit like in the forehead area and crow's feet. I also do it in a lower region to help with sweating, but it doesn't really last super long for me. So I just think with like working out and stuff, I'm just like burning through it all the time. So it's kind of one of those things I'm like, it's really nice, but then you have to do it a lot. So like, is it worth it? I don't know. And my hair is doing great, thank you. So I showed you guys those supplements I was taking to try to help them. They weren't hair growth supplements. It was the Farah Foods, right? And the Trace Minerals. So I stopped taking the Trace Minerals because it was like too much iron for me, like way too much. But I'm still doing like the farro food, which is good for you for sure. I don't know that it's directly helping my hair, but the only other thing I've changed is using obviously the Love Sweat Fitness protein, which has the full amino acid profile that you need, and then also has like just tons of vitamins and minerals. But then I also am using Wing Woman every single day in my water. I'm putting it in like my overnight oats, and that has vitamin C and vitamin D. So obviously Wing Woman is an immunity boost. That's my Love Sweat Fitness immunity boost. That is amazing for building your immunity, strengthening your defenses. But little side fun fact, vitamin C is a precursor to collagen, which as we all know helps hair, skin, nails. And then vitamin D can help stimulate hair follicle growth. So my eyelashes, my hair, like everything has been growing way faster over the last couple of months. So like, I know it's an immunity boost, but I swear it has been doing a lot for my hair too. So that's really great. Would you ever consider moving out of state? No. I love California, born and raised. I couldn't ever imagine living anywhere. I lived like for a period of time 20 minutes from the water. I've always lived like where I can either see it or like get there in 5 minutes. I was 20 minutes away and I like didn't do well. It's really pathetic. So I don't think I could live anywhere else. I don't think I could ever move anywhere. Okay, any good recommendations for panties that don't show panty lines under workout leggings? Ooh, I feel you, Sarah, I feel you. No. So we're just gonna be real here, you guys. TMI. I don't wear underwear usually under my workout clothes. It seems pointless to me. Like, think about it. Why? I don't see a good reason. So then I just shower and change and whatever. So that's my solution. Do what works for you. Are you still using Natural Cycles? How do you like it? From Emily. Yes, so I use that app every single day. I'm not as great. I get out of the habit sometimes. I'm not as wonderful at actually taking my temperature every single morning and like being good on that, but I do mark when I'm on my period every single time and all of those symptoms so that I can still track my cycle, and I'm like to the T, I know exactly when it's gonna start, and that's really, really nice. So I'm still using it to kind of track like how to not get pregnant as like a birth control, but at some point I'll eventually probably use it to help like with family planning, because you also know when you're ovulating and stuff. What's your least favorite part of being an influencer? That's a good one. That's LSF Patrice. You know, I think for me, the influencer side of things, I started this to connect with all of you guys, like just to have a community and for us to have a space where we can come together and do awesome workouts and share tips and share my story. That wasn't even like a thing or not anything I knew of. Like, it was so like in the early days, right? And now I have this amazing business and a team of incredible women. Like, that's my world. Like, that's all I care about, really. So like, yes, there's great perks of being an influencer, of course. I get to work with really cool brands that I love. But I think that like the comparison, the fakeness, that there's so much out there, the judgment, that stuff, like I could do without. I think that's probably the hardest part. But I try to separate myself from it and just ignore it. When you lost the weight, did you ever still feel uncomfortable in your body? Rachel, LSF. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think you think, oh, when I lose this weight, I'm gonna be so confident and feel perfect and like that's gonna fix everything. It doesn't. All of that negative self-thought and talk and everything has built up over all these years. And you also start to have a really skewed idea of your body, like body dysmorphia is like a real thing. And I think that like you carry that pain for a really long time. That's something that I definitely dealt with. I didn't feel like the person, people, like all these people are commenting and like complimenting you, and you feel super insecure because you're like, what? No, that's not me. Like, you have this idea of who you are, what you look like from all these years past. So that was something I had to really work through. That's kind of actually where the self-love workbook that I created for you guys came from, was like what I did and like kind of the process I went through to help heal and get rid of some of that negative self-thought, because it took a long time. I still have moments where I don't feel comfortable. You feel like bloated, or you're like, oh, I gotta like check this. But for the most part, yeah, I'm like night and day in my confidence, but it definitely took time. Okay, have you done any procedures, lasers, or cool sculpting? No. I mean, I just feel like, I don't want to like bag on anyone who likes to do that or whatever, but to me, I'm just like, it just seems like such a short-term solution, and it's not even like a really good solution. So like, why waste your money? Just put in the work and make it consistent. And then you can have great like confidence and feel good in your body all the time instead of just like after you do this quick little treatment that doesn't last. Bridge says, how is it going being off birth control? Pros, cons, best decision, ? So a lot of you have probably seen my video that I've done, a TMI, like going off birth control and some updates. It truly is the best decision for me that I ever made. I regret that it took me so long to get there. I was so uneducated when it came to my cycle, when it came to other birth control methods, all of that. And I feel like I wasted so much time putting these hormones in my body that basically make you go into like an early menopause. That's essentially what the birth control is doing, which is just horrible. Like, it's horrible. So I know there's different reasons everyone's on it. I had my reasons for being on it. I was just on it for like 15 years and I was so tired of it, especially dealing with hypothyroidism. And I felt like those things, putting all these different medications in me, like I was over it. And that was one, like my thyroid medication, I knew I needed because I've gone through cycles of trying to be off of it and everything else. I knew I needed that. The birth control, I knew I didn't need, and I could find better ways. So that was the best decision. The cons were, I mean, everybody is different, but for me, the only cons really were like kind of the breakouts that happen for like a month or so going off of it. So I did a lot to really help like clean my body. I shared those things in that video to help kind of balance my hormones at that time. But otherwise, like hands down, best decision I ever made, for sure. Why are my boobs the first thing to go when I start losing weight? Motivated mama. I feel you. Because it's just one of the highest areas of excess fat, because that's what boobs are, it's fat. So some people like carry fat in different areas and you might be like, oh, it's really nice like that person carries fat there and that one doesn't, like whatever. But fat is fat, like it's just where our bodies hold it and everyone's different with that. So it's one of the easiest, fastest, quickest places for it to go. Unfortunately, I feel your pain. That's why I made that video about why I decided to get breast augmentation, because I'd always had really big boobs, even when I was like younger and not necessarily overweight. But then for whatever reason, when I lost all that weight, like whoosh, and it just felt like a part of me was missing in a weird way. So watch that video if you want more on that. I break it down a lot and just kind of where I was at with everything. How do you feel about pre-workout? I'm not a fan of pre-workouts. I think that, well, one, I've tried them in the past for sure, and most of them are super dangerous. They have insane amounts of caffeine and other chemicals that are just not good or completely unnecessary for our bodies. Really, all anyone needs, if you want like pre-workout, what you're trying to get is like an energy boost, right? There's not really anything that's gonna help you burn more fat or anything like that, except for caffeine that boosts that metabolism, gives you more energy and gets you going, right? So you really just need a little caffeine, but the caffeine in those are insane. And even the clean ones that are better for you, the amount of caffeine is absurd. So what I like to do for like a pre-workout is I either just have some coffee or I'll do a green tea. And what I've been doing actually the last like couple weeks is an iced green tea, like unsweetened, with a scoop of Wing Woman. It's so freaking good. And the ginseng in Wing Woman is a natural like little energy boost too. So combine that with a healthy amount of caffeine in your green tea. You're gonna get that little metabolism boost plus tons of antioxidants plus your immunity and have the energy to crush that workout. So that's what I do for mine. Okay, someone said, in your recent YouTube video, you mentioned throwing up after eating. Did you struggle with an eating disorder? I definitely had disordered eating, I guess. Like I never was diagnosed with anything. Obviously, this was really serious, and if it's something you're going through, you should talk to someone. I wish I would talk to someone. However, I think I was very blessed in the fact that like it was a conscious decision I made, and I very easily, consciously decided not to, and I could do that. A lot of people who are struggling with real disorders cannot just say, you know what, that's not the right thing to do, I'm not going to do it anymore and be done with it. It's really, really a whole different level for many people. So if that's something like you feel like that's you, if you are struggling in that way, whether it's any form of disordered eating, I'm going to put a link down below like for you to find someone to talk to. There's free hotlines and stuff. You definitely should. Like, again, I feel very blessed that like I was able to just say like, nope, we're not doing that anymore, and I was good. But that's not the case for most people. Okay, let's do one more here and we'll hop over to YouTube. How do you spice up your relationship? Ooh. You know, for us, like from day one, Ryan has always been a big romantic. Like he is a gift giver, he is a planner, like that is him. which is really great. So like we always plan really fun dates. So even over the last year and a half when most of them have been at home, we tried to make them feel like a thing. So like we weren't just like, okay, let's just order food and like watch a movie, the end. Like we would create themes or like put on really fun music. Like one night we did like this whole thing where it was like music from Spain, like very much like the Ibiza vibes that we love, like very chill. And I made Spanish food and we had like a date night like that. Or we go out, we go stay the night somewhere, even just local one night just to get away. And we just like to try new things and like, I don't know, we date each other. I think that's the biggest thing. We date each other. We put in that effort that we put in week 1, 10 years later, and it takes work. Sometimes you don't feel like it. Sometimes like it's nice obviously that you have that person who loves you, that you could just be in your sweats and a messy bun and like you're good. But putting in that effort I think is what's really, really important, like long term, especially like as we talk about if we want to start a family or not. Like we are so blessed that we've had this time to build such a solid foundation so that if we do bring a kid in the mix, like we're like rock solid. We know how to keep showing up for each other. And I don't have a kid. I can't even imagine how exhausting and just like crazy it is. I know it's gonna be 1 million times harder to show up for each other than it is right now, but like we're committed to doing that if that's what happens in our life. Okay, YouTube, let's check it out. I just love the community section on YouTube, you guys, and just getting to chat with you even on the days that it's not like a new video day, to be able to answer your questions and stuff is so great. Okay, so let me find it. Oh yes, nothing is off limits. That's the one. Update on how you're feeling with your thyroid medication, blood work history, Hashimoto's, how's Ryan doing, video about your team's journey in the process about starting a supplement line, any plans for a workout apparel line. Woo, that's a lot. It's from Buddy Monk. Okay, let me break it down. Update, thyroid. My levels have been even for almost a year now, which is so exciting. I feel really good. Obviously, I think a lot of that has to do with incorporating supplements into my daily routine and really like just getting back into a healthy, normal routine. But so far, so good. I think my blood work is gonna be done again, like September, I'll get it done again. So maybe I'll do an updated video for you guys on that. My blood work history has looked like this. It's been crazy, except for the last year. It's been like very nice and solid. Ryan is doing great, thank you. I love him. We've been kind of nuts at work, so we're hiring more people for our team, which is really, really, really exciting, but also just takes a lot of time. Obviously, like we are a family. We are all so passionate about what we do. Everyone on our team is like so focused and so committed and so driven to like do all the things we do for this community. So we're obviously very particular about like who we bring into our bubble and like what they're gonna bring and how much they're gonna love you guys. So like it's hard. It's hard to find that, but we are going strong, and it's really exciting to be able to continue to grow this team and be able to just do more for you guys, which is really fun. Apparel line, I don't know, we're kind of busy right now, but maybe at some point. Are you gonna make video recipes with the new products? For sure. I have a ton of like recipes. Obviously, if you guys get the protein, there's a QR code you can scan and you get 10 recipes. This ebook I made that's really great, but I want to do more videos with the products. Definitely continue to incorporate them when I show you guys my routines, how I make smoothies and different things, but we'll do a lot more for sure. How would you stay on track with a healthy lifestyle if Ryan wasn't into it? My husband isn't into health and fitness at all, and I need to change my lifestyle and my health. I'm 150 pounds overweight, but I'm having a hard time making change when we eat our meals together. I totally know what you're talking about, and I can feel you on this, because I think it's something that so many people struggle with. It is hard when you don't have either your partner or even just roommates or people you live with that are on the same page. It makes it really, really challenging because you don't feel supported in the changes you're trying to make for yourself. So my biggest piece of advice would be, one, if you haven't already connected with Team LSF, these girls got your back. Like, this community is incredible because it gives you that support, whether you have it at home or not. Like, especially if you don't, to be able to have people who you can talk to, who you can share with, who you can get advice from, who are going through similar things. Like, search the hashtag Team LSF, go check out some of these girls' posts. Like, you are going to find amazing women. Say hi, create an LSF Instagram account. Connecting with this community will be a huge game changer. The other thing that's really just in your life practical that you can do is try to start making tweaks to recipes and don't say anything about it. This is what I did to Ryan at first, because he was like supportive of me, but he ate pretty unhealthy too. I had a lot of healthy meals in my routine. I just was making them wrong or adding way more than I needed, whatever. But like he would eat like a lot of stuff that just like, you know, like cheesy, crazy lasagna and that kind of stuff. So I just started making tweaks to recipes that we loved to make them healthier. So it wasn't like a big transition, like all of a sudden you're like, don't eat a burger anymore, just eat this piece of boiled chicken. Like no one wants that. So that's where the Guiltless Nutrition Guide that I wrote comes in, that recipe book. So it gives like really amazing tips for like all different things, like basics on how to cook, but how to make choices while you're eating out, easy swaps you can make. But there's over 130 recipes that are all really delicious, yummy recipes that are kind of just healthier versions of some of your favorite things. So if making lasagna is something you love to do, maybe start by just cutting down on the cheese a little bit. Just put less than you normally would put. Maybe add more veggies into it. So starting to add more of those healthy things in too can be really, really helpful. So I think those two things combined, if you start to make those subtle changes and then also get that support from Love Sweat Fitness community, and you will be much better off and you'll start to see that progress. And I think also the last thing, communicating with that person and letting them know why. It's not just about losing weight. Obviously, like if you have an excess, if you're in that point where medically it's obese, it is unhealthy. Like for your longevity, it's a disease for a reason, right? And I think a lot of times we don't take it seriously enough, but like we're talking about your ability to live a long, healthy life without complications, without further problems. So having a why that's not just about, oh, I need to lose some weight or I need to shed some pounds. Like you want to live a long, healthy life with your partner and be able to enjoy later years and everything else. It starts now, and it's how we fuel our body. You want energy to do the things you love. It has to do with the foods that you're putting in your body and how your body's using them. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's still more questions, and I feel like I've already been talking for way too long because I share a lot in my answers to each question. So I'm gonna cut this Q&A here, but I want more. Like if you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up, comment down below with any questions you have, like literally anything. I really like doing TMI like chats too. So if there's stuff you wanna know, whether it's about me or it's just like life, you have questions and you think I might have an opinion or thoughts or experience or whatever with, like drop it in the comments and let's do some more Q&A videos. I feel like this was really fun, at least for me to be able to answer a bunch of your questions here and they can just like live on. I love you guys. Have an amazing week. I will see you so soon. Bye.